Hello, you've caught me 20 years ago, back when I played Metal Gear Solid for the first time.
And I copped out at the torture. I was 12 years old and couldn't handle it. I gave up after being wheeled in for a third time. My emotions frayed, my wrist cramped, my thumb feeling like I'd attacked it with a cheese grater. And so, at the end, my gaming inadequacy was justly punished.
Meryl died. Not the canon ending, but it's the one I got after my first playthrough.
It was my first experience of a bad ending, and ever since then I've been very careful when playing games that offer multiple endings, making sure I make the right decisions and that I don't play like an utter noob. There are some cases, however, where if you want the bad ending, you really have to work for it. In some cases, obtaining that elusive unhappy ever after is several magnitudes of difficulty higher than getting the regular ending. So, if you reside in the centre of the Venn diagram between people who like their games intimidatingly difficult and also those who enjoy seeing their protagonists slump in utter misery before the end credits roll, this video is for you.
Here are 7 utterly miserable endings that you really do have to work for.
Naturally, you can expect big old spoilers for every game we talk about in this video. Check the description if you want to see a list, along with timestamps to help you skip the bits you don't want to see. Right, first up, Mafia 3. Now, this is a game where you fight your way to the top of the organised crime pyramid, Lincoln Clay becoming the ultimate mafia kingpin of New Bordeaux. Play it straight and you'll get the regular ending, which we won't spoil here because we're not dealing in regular endings, we want the bad ones.
And if you want the bad ending in Mafia 3, you've got to do some busy work.
And by that, I mean you've got to troll and then murder all your underbosses, subordinates whom you delegate the running of your various territories. This isn't a simple case of running up to them and boffing them round the head, however. You've got to make them want to fight you, which means making decisions you know they'll find really annoying.
And when I say annoying, I mean that will incite murderous, mutinous behaviour.
Suitably riled, you can then whack your underlings until Lincoln Clay is the undisputed ruler of New Bordeaux all by himself. Hooray, that was hard work, but you did it. Oh look, your adoptive uncle, Father James, thinks you're all evil now, and he's going to assassinate you with a car bomb. There's your bad ending, completionists. Everyone's dead, including you. Hope it was worth it. Heavy Rain is next up, and I'm going to reiterate that spoiler warning, just so we're all aware I'm about to thoroughly ruin the game for you. The worst ending in Heavy Rain, and there are many really very miserable ones, involves you letting the origami killer completely get away with it. To do this, there are various awful things you'll have to let happen throughout the game. It's quite the checklist, and there's pretty much no way you'd get all this unless you were actively going for the perfect crime trophy. So here we go.
You know that shop owner who gets robbed at the start that you definitely helped when you first played Heavy Rain? Yeah, you've got to let him die.
You have to make sure you remove all Manfred's fingerprints in his shop. You have to let Lauren die when your car crashes into the lake. You have to kill every single one of Kramer's men, plus Kramer himself. And you'll need to make sure Ethan gets arrested, framed for all Scott's crimes, and ensure Norman, Madison and Sean all end up dead.
Can't have any of them blabbing now, can we?
Then you'll get a lovely ending where everyone who isn't dead is incredibly sad. Ethan, unable to cope with his grief, takes his own life, while Scott strolls down the street smirking to himself. Gold trophy, well done you, enjoy your terrible ending, hope you're proud of yourself. I mean, I haven't got a leg to stand on, I literally did this for the platinum, no regrets. Entry 3 is Braid. Now, you can get a really bad ending in this game where the princess, who you've been chasing the entire time, explodes. There is some debate online as to whether the princess actually represents an atomic bomb and how the whole game is a metaphorical warning about obsessively pursuing things that are best left alone. And I guess the fact she explodes in the worst possible ending lends weight to this theory.
Another thing you could say adds credence to this theory is just how difficult it is to get the bad ending.
You really have to want it, as if the game is asking you, are you sure you want this really really terrible thing to happen. You need to collect 8 secret stars. That's not very many, you might think, but it is when they're as difficult to get as this.
The platforming skill, timing, reflexes and mental gymnastics you'll have to demonstrate to grab all 8 are, quite frankly, ridiculous.
But if you want to make that constellation in the sky light up, if your pursuit of that terrible ending burns that bright, then you've got to prove your worth. Once you're done, congratulations, you are very good at Braid. Kaboom. Entry 4, Mass Effect 2. Now, to obtain the very worst ending here, that is the one where literally your entire crew dies during the suicide mission, you have to be either incredibly thorough or incredibly stupid. Before you all head off to give the collectors and the giant robot baby what for, Shepard gets to pick who does what job, and if you've been paying any attention whatsoever to your squad's strengths and weaknesses throughout the game, then it's pretty much common sense who to pick for what.
Even if you balls that up spectacularly, you still have to willfully ignore every single loyalty mission in the entire game.
Well, that's easy, you might think, not doing stuff, but you are forgetting Mass Effect 2 is predominantly played by RPG players, and telling an RPG player to ignore optional side quests
Is like telling me to ignore this chilled can of sugary goodness I've just pulled out the fridge. Flippin' heck.
It goes against every fibre of our being. You don't ignore side quests, but if you do, if you screw over every one of your teammates and assign them stupid roles in the final mission, they'll all end up dead, meaning there's only Joker to hoist you onto the Normandy when Shepard makes that final climactic leap. To be fair, you could definitely survive there. That's a real Gandalf-style "fly you fools" moment there, isn't it?
What actually happens in Mass Effect 3 if you carry this save over? Does anyone know?
Undertale is our 5th entry, and it's really hard to get the bad ending here. You have to really want it, be an utter heartless bastard, and then at the end, have the hand-eye coordination of a superior alien race to beat the final boss that gets thrown at you should you meet all the requirements.
For those of you that don't know, Undertale is an RPG that encourages you not to fight.
Instead, you're supposed to talk your way out of encounters, compliment monsters, and show mercy. But, you know, sometimes you've just got to hit a frog. But here's the thing. The really bad, absolutely worst ending requires something called a genocide run, which, as the name suggests, means you've got to kill literally every creature in the game.
And this doesn't just mean killing everything you come up against, no, you've got to properly grind Undertale out of every single monster it has.
Like squeeze every random battle out of the game you can. Eventually Undertale will simply run out of monsters to throw at you, and then you have to fight Sans, a boss that breaks all the rules, throws attacks at you that are near impossible to dodge, and who will make you feel really very guilty, you awful frog-killing lunatic.
You do get to listen to Megalovania though, although I've just got it on Spotify, so I can listen to it whenever I want.
Our penultimate entry is Disgaea 2, and this ending is both utterly horrific and also incredibly hard. To even have a chance of activating this, you must first rack up over 99 felonies, basically rewards for doing bad things, and also over 99 ally kills.
Just for a bit of context, 99 is the highest stat Disgaea 2 will record, so that's a lot of busy work.
Then the really hard bit. If you meet the 99 felonies and ally kills requirement, you'll trigger an extra boss at the end. True Xenon. Previously, beating Overlord Xenon would be enough to see you finish the game, but not if you want the bad ending. And here's the thing, Overlord Xenon is level 90. True Xenon, the one you've now got to beat, is level 2000.
So you're up against a boss that's over 20 times more powerful than the boss you thought was the final boss.
Managed to get through that fight, and congratulations, you've earned yourself the very worst ending in the game. True Zenon possesses Adele, you've killed Rosalind too by the way, and forces him to kill and eat Taro and Hanako. I bet you're glad you beat that really hard boss now, aren't you? Final entry. It's time for Drakengard. Now, I can't quite work out if this ending is really bleak or really funny. It's really hard to activate anyhow. You have to collect all 65 weapons in the game, which is no mean feat. Do that and you'll unlock the super secret chapter 13, which sees Kaim and Angelus transported to present day Tokyo.
Bear in mind, Drakengard is a full-on fantasy RPG set in a fictional medieval world, so this is a proper WTF moment.
Oh wait, no it isn't. The giant naked pregnant lady falling from the sky and then you having to fight her, that is a proper WTF moment, so yeah. Win this Bizarro battle and you've earned yourself Ending E. Hooray, well done. Have a fighter jet missile for your troubles, and then die horribly.
Thank you for playing!
Interestingly, this ending is pretty much canon now, as it's from here that spin-off series Nier emerged.
Which is mad when you think about it, you know, imagine a game as good as Nier Automata as the closing chapter of a series based off the dog ending in Silent Hill 2, for example. That's the kind of thing we're looking at here. At least the Nier series has continued the bonkers multi-ending tradition of its Drakengard ancestors, although admittedly none of them have you fighting a massive naked city-sized lady. So there you have it, 7 utterly miserable endings you really have to work for. Let us know if you've managed to unlock any of these. Was it worth it? Can you think of any examples we might have missed? Give us a like if you enjoyed the video and click that notification bell so you know instantly when a new Friday feature goes live. Thanks for watching and see you next week.
For the players.